14-12-21 to 15-18-12 SD sworn in, takes oath to God. 14-12-21 after lunch SD sworn in, oath to God. SACD Stephen Attridge, you are an actor. Page 42, 3 pages of your witness statement. SD, I am a parishioner. On the 22nd of March I was with my youngest daughter, age 5. There were a number of people about 20. I noticed a woman and a man, an Asian woman with dark hair with a younger man white, in the church with their backs to door. Children got up. Father Paul stopped church service. Couple of men challenged her, asked her to leave. Belligerent. A mother moved her children to children's area. There was a discussion for a while. Very nervous. No one knew what issue they had or how far they would go. The American woman started howling. The teacher was recording Sunday school. 14-24-30. We are filming your satanic rituals. American unfriendly rowdy. 14-26-50. This was the first event. The woman. I live by the back door. 14-28-30. I became aware my statement was online. These people had seen where I lived. They found movies, a film filmed in my house online. I had to move out. Judge Worsley. 22nd of March SD. I lived in the old headmistress's cottage I rented for 21 years. Moved out. 14-31-40. Vigilante by new published online. Stephen Attridge. Police telephone you that your statement was online. The second statement of the 18th of September 2015. You withdrew your first statement. SD. I felt like a sitting duck living and working on site. 14-35-35 cross-examination by Ruth referring to the incident on the 22nd of March 2015. You stated there was 6 weeks of satanic ritual abuse. Judge Worsley, SD. We were aware. It was so horrible. We were away in January 2015. An email from the school. False allegations on the internet. Names of school and church, contact list for children, names and addresses as of January. These details were online. Judge Worsley, evil or misguided. 14-38-49 photo film. At my house I was told about internet. I left my house in December 15th. Judge Worsley, pause, SD. By 11th of April 2015 I became aware of the film made inside my house. Judge Worsley, who put it on the internet? SD. It was made for a friend. Right away to the year. Intimidate. Cross-examination by Ruth. 20-40 people. Man in a green t-shirt, man in a hat. More men. Heavy coat. Most people white. Noticed Asian woman. Wildish. Menacing couple. Angry. I would recognize. No ID parade. No threats of physical violence. Female filming for considerable period. Father Paul at the altar. I was asked by police to provide a statement. Given on 1st of April 2015. Ruth Munro, were you told the witness statement was for a criminal court? SD. I think they were trying to make arrests. They wanted as many of us to give statements. 14-48-33 Ruth Munro, when you gave your statement you must appreciate it would be dealt with sensible hands kept in a court. At a trial, press are present. Previous allegations in the press against the school, in the Ham and High, arrest after protest had attracted a lot of interest. Judge Worsley, I never thought for a moment it would go on the internet. Ruth Munro, you were shocked the statement was given to the defendant. SD. These people went on the internet. Judge Worsley, 14-55-00 PC Davy outside Ruth Munro, you described NB's character as cold-blooded. Judge Worsley, in the circumstances with the background Ruth Munro, our cases the statements relate to material of the Draper case and justice, confirmed by SD. Judge Worsley, I disagree. It is important how SD feels why they did it. I will warn the jury the reactions of persons involved make light. Mr. Byrne. SD said, I would be terrified. Ruth Munro, NB denies filming the service, denies being forced out of the church, denies filming the satanic rituals. James Byrne. 15:06:10 I am shocked by Stephen Attridge comment that if it was not NB, and there was no ID parade, that it did not matter that there was no positive ID. Judge Worsley, can be put, is relevant, put in the hands of people. Reactions to going online is of some relevance not match. 15:08 jury back. 15:10-58 Judge Worsley, I allow statement of 11th of April to be read out. Ruth Munro, second paragraph, fourth line, discovered on the internet. Witness statement has been released. NB is cold-blooded, fabricated, Born activist SD. Whoever is taking it contributed first one Goodwill 15-13-49 Ruth Monroe. Posting was part of political campaign. We are victims discuss why we'd put names of children. Judge Worsley. If this statement was published I would be terrified. 11th of April 2015 as did the last statement. The 1st of April SD. It took a lot for me to come today. I was not brave enough to come the last time. I did not go. I was afraid they will single me out. 15-17-22 My children to think about. We discussed why they were doing this. James Byrne. No questions. Stephen Attridge. No question. Judge Worsley. No questions. 15:30-16:20 VG's warden takes oath to God. Break. To 15:38 VG. Oath to God. Stephen Attridge. VNG. You work inside and outside church. Page 33, Witness Statement 2nd of April 2015, you are a parishioner, hold communion, you are Eucharist VG. Early on there was not shouting, went outside again with the gathering. Stephen Attridge. An incident occurred in the service. 15:44 Laughs. Where what you describe. An American lady, and another lady. When I say white, I meant not black. 16:09-17 Police were very clear about process, but the statement would be in open court. The statement would be given to the defendant who was charged. Aware of defendant and legal team would get the statement and it would remain confidential within the legal system. James Byrne. Event prior to 10th and 11th of April. There was a horrendous campaign against the church and the church school prior to the 10th of April VG. Why are you asking? James Byrne. Before the 10th of April, before documents for online 2 months prior, there has been a campaign against the church and the church school. Salacious and untrue allegations VG. What I know now and what I knew then I'm not sure. 16:12 Judge Worsley. Before 22nd of March were you aware of a campaign alleging satanic child abuse? James Byrne. First protest 22nd of March. VG. Letters sent to school with allegations online. I was not aware of the family court. I was aware of the police presence. I don't remember. James Byrne. Ongoing family court process prior to 22nd of March. Judge Worsley. It's not easy. 16:14 VG. May I explain my role and my husband's role? My husband is a warden. My role as parishioner in services. Spend a lot of time outside. Not sure how much my husband discusses. Have children at school. I was not aware until later. James Byrne. But you did ask your husband what the allegations were. Judge Worsley. Break it down. On the 19th of March there was a family court judgment. VG. I had no knowledge prior to 19th of March. 1 was away. My husband had meetings with the vicar to raise matters of concern. I don't remember how much we discussed before the 22nd of March. 1 did not do online research on the allegations. 16:17 Judge Worsley. No online research VG. After the 22nd of March I read the judgment of Judge Poefley. Anything else is under libel. Name as headline so husband could delete the Google reference but did not see the post which you told me were there. One person in the family. 16-18-50 Judge Worsley. Work on admissions. Stephen Attridge. We have 6 pages of admissions of facts and evidence which all parties now known to be accurate. Copies given to you. End 4:20. DAY for Thursday, the 14th of July 2016, 10:11. Jury informed that Stephen Attridge's wife sent an email at 9:40 a.m. that he has a migraine. Jury told to return Friday 10 a.m. DAY 5 Friday, the 15th of July 2016. Friday 15th of July 2016, day 5 of 6/11/33/22 James Byrne. Exhibit A. Judge Worsley. Is this relevant? Ruth Monroe. We have agreed a portion for the jury. 11:35 Jury arrives. Judge Worsley. Stephen Attridge has recovered. We have sorted out a huge amount of admissions. I have with me 2 observers. They play no part in decision-making. They are French solicitors and barristers from the Paris bar. Stephen Attridge. We have a copy of admissions for the jury. I apologize to the jury for my sickness. 11:46 Hampstead Bundle Neelu Eris 040415 Bad 02 Mac Mini OS 10 6th of January 2015 NB Laptop. 11:47 Berry Timing 55 minutes Bad 02 10th of April 0035 Download folder. Don't know how it was created. Don't know if it was uploaded. Search hit, Derek PC. 31. Comparison of file shot secure hash algorithm, hampsteadersearch.wordpress.com SD. 32. Two Skype accounts fed showed Hari 9th of June 2011 20. 37. An application was made before Judge Keehan for the return of the two children on the 16th of March 2015. 39. Use of Church of Common Law 4044. Arranging a meet-up. SM writes to NB who says no, refers it to CAS on Facebook 37, 38, 46, 47. Skype messages NB and SM did not publish names of children. 24th of April NB arrested at home interviewed by officer in the case with appropriate adult. 1st of September further interviewed Judge Worsley. NB's reaction to arrest. Page 25 Exhibit E. Admissions Ruth Munro. In the case Judge Worsley. No need to comment. Ruth Munro. Skype calls attempted at 5:6:15. Call maker, recipient, date, time, outgoing, incoming, duration 8th of April 2015, 20-minute number 5, message 9th of April 0 minute, 10th of April 0 minute, number 15 11th of April. Admission 36 Exhibit E, Skype NB and SM. Page 4 Judge Worsley, 5:6:15, page 2 and 3, 8th of April. Page 4, answered 12:06:31. Witness statement reading evidence James Byrne, 24th of April 2015. Jennifer Black PC 505 Stephen Attridge, parts, Robert Orr 240 12:08:57. Previously charged 5th April 2015. Priest 22nd of March on arrival. PC Davy, with Acting Police Sergeant Alistair Phillips, local police in marked cars, attempted to return a camera. When looked inside, find another matter of witness intimidation. PC Roberts, PC Cook, and B accused them of kidnapping her and endangering her life. Attempted murder. She had removed us from public office. Section 32 search of property took place. She berated me. How I failed in my duty. 1540 received by P.S. Barley at Melbourne Police Station. Judge Worsley. Decide what goes to jury. Stephen Attridge. Read out witness statement of Officer Charlie Williams. SD and PC have addresses. Ruth Munro. 20 minutes for submission before lunch. Judge Worsley. 20 minutes for legal argument. 1 hour for substantial. Finish before lunch. Return 3 or 3:15. James Byrne. Issue of indictment in public. Judge Worsley. Cross out, with other persons unknown. It is not the prosecution case, it's two people. 12:21:05, 15 to 30 minute break. Judge Worsley. Proposed Exhibit D is a representative Exhibit E. Ruth Munro. The danger of overloading jury. Screenshots of emails 9th and 10th of April. Judge Worsley. Exhibit D, page numbers. James Byrne. Character of CAS to Ruth and Attridge. 12:25:28. Judge Worsley: 1, 2 of whether defendant to publish. James Byrne. Sentence of CAS Stephen Attridge. I want her conviction in. Judge Worsley. She pleaded guilty. Stephen Attridge. No evidence against NB. Ruth Munro. Leave it in. Judge Worsley. Why is it relevant? Stephen Attridge. We had evidence from Sands. Her credibility as a witness. Recording originated from CAS. Judge Worsley. Why is it online? Stephen Attridge. The disturbance in the church. Same allegations against CAS and NB. Judge Worsley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To do with CAS suspended sentence. Stephen Attridge. It is relevant to the CPS why witnesses felt intimidated. Nature of website published. NB and other allegations made as a way of background for the jury. Judge Worsley. Page 6, 7 separate, P6 excluded, third-party opinion on publishing ruled out under Section 78, entire page 6 criticizes SM, P7 excluded, P8 excluded, P12, 13, 14 OK, P18 with names of two kids blacked out. Stephen Attridge. CPSA yes published the kids. James Byrne. Family court ban kids are not identified. Jury Stephen Attridge. Content to black it out. P19 blacked out, blackout A and G. James Byrne: P20. Judge Worsley. PC Davy, OK. PC Davy. Yes, Your Honor. 12:39:50. Judge Worsley. SD Stephen Attridge. Yes, Ruth and James Byrne. No. Judge Worsley. Date on Internet, 8th of April 2015. Jackie Farmer. The website SD witness statement posted an inference of both defendants. Judge Worsley. A crusade. SD film of cottage online. James Byrne. Crown. Intimidated Judge Worsley. Your client charged. SD personal details they're already relevant. I would be unhappy for defendant if excluded Ruth Munro. Posted prior. JF is not a witness. SD is not a witness. James Byrne. I am corrected. Handsettersearch.wordpress.com. Stephen Attridge. To PC Davy, it's the second link. Can we link HSR? 12:45:13 Judge Worsley. I need to know where they came from. Ruth Munro. NB search history Judge Worsley. We can have this ready 3 p.m. To Ruth, lunch to 2 p.m. Stephen Attridge. Informed if go further page 25. Posting statement on Judge Worsley. Date? Is sufficient evidence for inference. Seen by either defendant posting. Either defendant seen Ruth Munro. Evidence viewed by NB. SM date not relevant Judge Worsley. Would be viewed by NB SM. Check James Byrne. All information from SM blog is not true Judge Worsley. If 10th of April received by SM from NB, already on internet. Relevant to defendant James Byrne. I withdraw objection. Subject to correction by Crown. Page 27:30. Why relevant? East Clyde Stephen Attridge. Includes registration of page Judge Worsley. 12:53:19. Relevant to issue. Is relevant. Judge has discretion. Section 78 Police and Criminal Evidence Act unfair James Byrne. 27:30 out Judge Worsley. 27:30 out James Byrne. P22, SD. Blog is not NB plus SB blog Judge Worsley. Page number 1 to 30, 12:55:22 Judge Worsley. Blog James Byrne. SD was on 8th of April. SM commented on 10th of April Judge Worsley. Will help you James Byrne. Chris report. Final version Judge Worsley. Disclosure by Crown as part of adversarial. CPS has a duty and ongoing duty for disclosure. 12:57:33 Stephen Attridge. Not disclosed yet Judge Worsley. You must review it. Disclose it. I assume it is done James Byrne. No accusation of ambush Stephen Attridge. Comments from public gallery Judge Worsley. Exclude them. Exhibit D to jury 2 p.m. Leave running through it. Compensation timetable. 14:00 jury, 2:45 p.m. I am unusually going to hand to you my proposed legal directions. What's on the 22nd of March, concentrated to assist with submissions. Why I'll give you the second page. Guilty verdict must be the same for both defendants to be sure. Question in my judgment, could the jury properly be giving directions, with safety, to be sure 2 elements? If my judgment is yes, there is case law. Proceed to sentencing by jury James Byrne. Conspiracies. When a jury can convict Judge Worsley, if give copies to all. 13:04:14 lunch break. Return from lunch. 14:22:14 Judge Worsley. Are you ready now? Stephen Attridge. No. I personally undertook Exhibit D, using a black marker, trying to cover it. Officer in the case is not here. 14:24:59 PC Davy. Live Judge Worsley. We need to get on. Leave Exhibit D Ruth Munro. Other matters. Bundle E prosecution. 14:26:26 Stephen Attridge. Ruth Munro is trying to show the officer the time and date of emails. NB goes out of the docked courtroom. BD with RM looking at emails as sent. 14:31:01 Clerk tells Ruth Munro to tell the court Stephen Attridge. How to proceed. Refer to Exhibit E. Proceed submission with evidence. Recall PC Davy in front of jury. Pre-sodomy backdoor Judge Worsley. I can make a decision whether to proceed. 14:32:25 Jury enters Judge Worsley. Exhibit A. Head and hands. Limit to. Leave Exhibit E till Monday, when PC Davy is called now. Matters of law. Prosecution case we start again on Monday. Call PC Davy. Witness evidence of officer in the case Betsy Davy. 14:35:30 to 15:14:38 ends. 15:26:59 Betsy Davy's warden affirms. 14:35:30 Stephen Attridge. Which police station are you based at? Betsy Davy. West Hampstead Police. Stephen Attridge. You are the arresting officer with a number of heads. You dealt with the arrest of the defendant, dealt with the inquiry. Overview of the inquiry. You are the officer in the case. The buck stops with you. You are responsible for page 31, statements dated 11th of April 2015, 14:37:57. You became aware of allegations of a disturbance in a church. There was material online on the 11th of April. You undertook an online inquiry, made screenshots, Exhibit E, MG5, Case Summary NP, scans of 6 witness statements, Judge Worsley, Exhibit A. This was found on whistleblowerkids.com. You obtained an arrest warrant and made an arrest on the 24th of April 2015. Other officers attended. The address is 3 Peel Drive. You were assisting PC Black to put midday. Judge Worsley, do you need all this? Stephen Attridge. She confirmed she was in Betsy Davy. She was searched. 14:44:29. You handcuffed her, Judge Worsley. We had this in the morning. Stephen Attridge. A number of items received. Bag 02 Mini Mac LB8003 Apple. On the 29th of April, you made a statement. You undertook an inquiry at Elborn Police Station. James Byrne. Objection. No need to go through again, Judge Worsley. A no-comment statement does not prejudice the defendant unless it needs to be relied upon, says the Court of Appeal. Stephen Attridge. Authority of Lashley. Interview 1st of September 2015. Interview with defendant 2 James Byrne. No comment. Interview by SM needs to be put in. I suggest the officer in the case steps outside. Halfway through her cross-examination, the officer in the case is sent outside the witness box and outside the courtroom whilst the defense make an application for an abuse of process against the police crown. 15.30. Jury is discharged halfway through cross-examination of Betsy Davy and told they will hear summing up by the Crown on Monday morning. After their discharge, the defense make an application for an abuse of process on grounds that there are no entries in the police records between 9th of September 2015 and 11th of January 2016, the date of the arrest of SM. The judge responds by saying, I am giving you 1 to 2 minutes maximum to make your submissions for no case to answer. The defense makes submissions. The judge states that he will be putting it to the jury on Monday morning to make a finding of no case to answer, which they will not be able to refuse, and he will be issuing a restraining order, but he will check whether he can do that as part of acquittal. Blackfriars Crown Court Judge Daniel Worsley Court 2T201506661 RV Berry T2016012 RV McNeill NB Neelu Berry. Neelu use Barrister Ruth Zentler-Munro SMSM. Her Barrister James Byrne. Times given from court clock for transcripts in hour::min::sec. Notes of court proceedings the 18th of July 2016. DAY 6 18th of July 2016 10:15. Judge Worsley refuses an application for recusal made by NB's legal team without giving reasons. 10:16:30:. The jury is called and told that the prosecution case is ended. Judge Worsley. The judge has a duty to review evidence. If on the one count of conspiracy to intimidate there is no evidence that the jury could be sure on the prosecution evidence, just have a duty to conclude the case, giving notice to issue a restraining order to stop harassment I am sure they have caused. There is no evidence for this count to give proper directions of guilt. Jury would be sure 1. That there was an agreement between NB and SM to publish the events from 22nd of March 2015 on SM's blog. 2. An element the Crown says to agree witnesses would be intimidated. Use of documentary evidence of positive agreement. The Crown says jury would be sure by NB sending to SM. Court of Appeal case of Hedgecock inference relied by the Crown rejects innocence. The prosecution put it. Mr. Attridge concedes no evidence, concede own intentions. Exhibit J 9th of April 2015. Solicitor quite rightly sent it to Lotus Princess for you, the papers in an email. NB send it to SM and 5 others. SM response, I have put it on my blog. What if Father Paul takes a selfie? That is the end of the prosecution case to intimidate witnesses. Admission 8. No rules or laws prevent defendants to publish unless done to intimidate witnesses. A jury could be sure, could infer depending on circumstances, that defendants' published witness statements against him might be to frighten him or her giving evidence. What is clear, this is not a normal situation. Defense counsel had the difficult task of positive charge of defending intent to intimidate, irrationality on behalf of those who are convinced, obsessed despite high court judges insisting of allegations of satanism, cannibalism, as deluded, evil, misguided. Could the jury decide? Not normal. Defendant counsel quite right. Letters Skype email. I will send witness statement to frighten witnesses from giving evidence. No direct agreement to frighten witnesses or conspiracy. The publication of further stage of campaign and other campaigns played a part in it. All personal details in Exhibit A had been in the campaign run for months before 22nd of March 2015. SD gave evidence, upset the address, a film inside of her house, names of parents at school and children of the school, so prosecution unable to show a new development in the continuing ongoing campaign against satanism, cannibalism, sex abuse. As of 22nd of March SD, utterly irrational, terrible campaign. Witnesses were terrified and frightened and indeed further intimidated when they learned their witness statements were published. Corruption. 1034-11 Conspiracy account. The two defendants should have known it would intimidate and agree to do it. And became at a later stage in it. No jury could ignore irrational nature of campaign. Positive agreement to publish. Jury could not be sure of conspiracy charge. I allowed on Friday. I said to Mr. Byrne, I will be issuing a restraining order to seek to end harassment, as I have a power to do not only when defendant is not guilty but also when the case is withdrawn. Breach of the restraining order comes with a 5-year imprisonment. To the jury, to find defendant not guilty, you have no choice but accept my issuing of a restraining order. 10:38: Foreman. How do you find Foreman not guilty? 10:43: Judge Worsley. Sit down. 2 NB continues to stand. I wish to address the jury. I wish the jury to make a finding of contempt against the judge for concealing the fact of the corruption claim filed in the High Court in the jurisdictional notice. Judge Worsley shouts to NB. Either you leave the court or I will leave. 10:43 Judge abandon court. Jury asked to leave. 10:47 RZ. Getting ready to show videos to defend restraining order. James Byrne. Warning to SM not to breach the restraining order. Go to prison, no remand. 10:49: all courts having 1 minute silence for the Nice attack. 10:51 Jury returns. Judge Worsley. Miss Monroe, we must proceed calmly. I cannot proceed with defendant outbursts. If it happens again, I will proceed without her being present. Is she trying to get back in the court? I will have to lock her up in a cell. Judge Worsley. To the jury, your part is finished. I will proceed with restraining orders. Terms for consideration of defense counsel. You do not play a part today. If you wanted to go, you could go. If you want to go upstairs, I shouldn't keep you here. If you are needed in another court, some can stay, some can go. Would you like to stay? Jury. Yes, Judge Worsley. Crown had to go with no case to answer. 10:57: Jury Foreman. The defendants are found not guilty on all counts. Judge Worsley. I'm not discharging the defendants until the counsels have considered the term of the restraining order. I appreciate you must be feeling frustrated having to attend the hearings and not having contributed to it. James Byrne. Cost order. Judge Worsley. Have you got to details? Cabs cost. I am issuing defense cost orders. 10:59:39 Respect of restraining orders. Section 9 Witness statement by solicitor. Have Crown heard? 11:01:58 Alleged conduct of NB. Move to wider matters. Can I see what the issue for defendant to start with non-contact with witnesses? RC. My client object to order. Byrne. My client does not object to the order in principle. It is unnecessary as no cause of harassment or fear of violence. Judge Worsley. Section 5(8) has to issue an order under the protection of harassment where defendant, if the defendant is likely to pursue a course of conduct we intend to cause alarm, distress on 2 occasions once each to 2 or more persons. A restraining order can be issued over a length till further order. It must be specific, clear, and capable of being understood. Or discharge. 11:05:11 I do have the power to make an order after acquittal. No contact is a blanket ban. Does not deal with law. The evidence seen goes above that. To add, no harassment. Byrne. Officer in the case have names of witnesses and clergy and map. Judge Worsley. To Stephen Attridge. Prefer to ask me. We have 6 complainants, all members of the church, school, and parents. Checks by social services on all children. Children's names had to be changed. Include parents of pupils, clergy, parishioner, staff, parents, pupils, past and present. SD no longer have children at school. 11:12:07 Judge Worsley. Antisocial behavior. Stephen Attridge. Church and school. Judge Worsley. To Ruth, I don't wish to undermine Judge Worsley. To Stephen Attridge, restraining order not to mention names of staff at school, not to display on the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, not to go near the church marked on the map, Judge Worsley, not to make any allegations of child abuse, cannibalism, satanism, satanic ritual personally in writing on letters, Judge Worsley, cancel, retain record or research privately in their home computers, cancel direct contact with police officers. No need to address me, Ruth Munro, in relation to propriety of making a restraining order. Crown has not established any personal information as agreed factor, nothing to do with the campaign, Judge Worsley. Remind me of admissions, Ruth Munro. Ruth, paragraph 16 to 17, Exhibit A. No personal details of 4 witnesses put online by NB or SM. It is not the prosecution case that either is responsible for posts threatening violence, not published children's name. My submissions, to be very careful in light of the campaign actions, prove to civil standards reference NB, but there is no justification. 125 Only possible justification is names of witnesses, categories abroad, difficult to prove, unenforceable, publishing named parties within the case. What is a factual basis of making any order, bearing in mind they have to be a balance between freedom of expression and raising legitimate concerns, necessity of law, desirability, overarching submissions in the High Court. Allegations without substance material indicates capable of giving rise to genuine concern. IPCC letter upheld medical evidence 11:26:59. Judge Worsley, complaint was made police did not take allegations of cannibalism. How does that help me, Judge Pofley? Trying the matter said the campaign with delusional Ruth Munro. Irrational, delusional individuals entitled to make public protest lawful, legitimate, call to speak in continental civil rights. There was objective material by NB. Medical evidence was consistent with 2 people raising legitimate concerns, Judge Worsley. Legal findings, Ruth Munro. It is not unlawful to speak, to protest clearly in distress, hence lawful activity, Judge Worsley. Goes as far as harassment, Ruth Munro. 11:31:15. Entirety of Crown accepts statement read out to him, Stephen Attridge. Judge Pofley ordered restraint on publication of any material would be contempt of court, Ruth Munro. Whether publications was contempt, Byrne. Evidence statement of PG, but it was contempt of court. Crown deserve it was not contempt of court. We cannot go beyond not involved in proceedings. My lord puts evidence strongly, Ruth Munro. She did not meet priest American woman, meet NB after church service. 11:34:58. Judge Worsley, is there anything in AT statement that is inaccurate? To Stephen Attridge. Stephen Attridge, I had the opportunity to read the statement. I did listen to YouTube myself. YouTube is not posting from a self-styled Christine Sheriff, sans Judge Worsley. Mr. Taj listening to it. Is it wrong, Stephen Attridge? You cannot make out any specific incidents, Ruth Munro. There is evidence from the police body cameras, the manner of the campaign in which NB is conducting herself. 11:37:37. Police body cameras shown NB talking calmly to police like any investigative journalist. Ruth Munro. Officers in the church grounds, Judge Worsley. Protesters in the distance. We call that Exhibit O in case it goes to Court of Appeal. 11:40:07. NB holding a set of papers 7th of March 2015, London Borough, Barnet and Camden, in a complaint about the way the investigation was handled. The way she spoke to Mr. PG was not aggressive. She was speaking to raise allegations, Judge Worsley. Mr. PG described her as pushy. He was in bemusement, Ruth Munro. She accepts she was filming, but not in the church, not intimidating. Protesters film each other. It is not an act intended to be confrontational. Not riotous behavior, even if sent to SM, did not meet the threshold of harassment. Sending is not harassment. Judge Worsley, it might be if published, Ruth Munro. Most material is not published. This is a warning to others. If I can be arrested, then they may be too. There is nothing to suggest any intention to publish. The necessity test is not satisfied when on NB's own actions. There is no justification for restraining order or in the terms being made. James Byrne. To Ruth, PG evidence, Judge Worsley. We will ask Stephen Attridge to respond, James Byrne. I repeat what Ruth has said better than me. The purpose of this order, Stephen Attridge makes the mistake of calling it antisocial behavior, gives wider facts. Difficult to see where truth lies. Further impact on other people over the weekend. Stephen Attridge makes restraining order on the weekend in relation to behavior. Any order made must be reasonable, clear, necessary. Order can be about contact. Judge Worsley, is there any purpose for the defendants to contact SD James Byrne? My client is not just online, she assisted the mother as a Mackenzie friend. Sometimes members of the public, SM assist the mother's applications in the European Court. Not antisocial behavior, your restraint post-acquittal, not to harass, alarm, or distress. Judge Worsley, would there be any possibility SM contacting Mr. PG in a way? James Byrne, the test is Your Honor is bound by the law and statutes. Harass, alarm, distress. Judge Worsley, likely to contact PG? James Byrne, post-acquittal order. Judge Worsley, I can restrain if I judge necessary. James Byrne, a breach, no contact, excessive care. James Byrne, order 1. Headline 2. Who are related to? Names of 4 witnesses, no others. There is no evidence of trespass, cannot extend to others. We must deal with my client. This seems to be an attempt to piggyback the failure of the police on my client. I have no dispute with Ruth. Question is, SM is not the protester who goes there. She is very limited, has restrictions. If Your Honor were to self-exclusion, not too much concern, she does not go there. She has never met these people. Ruth has put some powerful arguments. There must be freedom of speech and freedom of expression. What she has done it lawful, not cause any harassment, alarm, or distress. There is no prohibition to say something, no matter how unpalatable. Not to trespass. Go far enough. Crown antisocial behavior. Different argument. Judge Worsley, the degree of distress by the 4 witnesses. Matters ruled by High Court. Drinking blood. James Byrne, whether these people generally believe or not. Judge Worsley, repeated delusion according to High Court. Vicar moving elsewhere. James Byrne, appalling, shocking evidence. Not the responsibility of these defendants. People's malicious attacks in a campaign cannot be used as a make-way for this order. We have not heard the defense. The restraining order has specific limited powers. It is not for this court, not this time. Cannot use the defendant as an example to do that on false submissions. Judge Worsley, I will hear Stephen Attridge. James Byrne, points not contact Stephen Attridge. Stephen Attridge, harassment, alarm, distress, prohibition. Judge Worsley, think about it over lunch. We have 3 categories of witnesses, WD and PB as clergy. Have it drafted. NB Satanists, wanted 120732. Stephen Attridge, the route for PC to the church, number 6 on the list. Judge Worsley, I will ask you to put heads together, subject to objection if I decided to make such an order not to go within 200 meters of the vicarage. Stephen Attridge, draft order includes electronic blog on the internet. Judge Worsley, to Ruth, yes, Ruth Munro, actions of NB evidential absence in the church, posts referred to prior to PC being a witness. Protest was awful inherently. To ensure a protest is made and cannot be avoided, just like investigative journalist of the press, they had intended to ask, what do you think about that? Anything else? Judge Worsley, something else on my mind. Paragraph 39 of admissions, 18th of March. Before the church event, turned the Satanic Church into a common law court in the context of harassment, alarm, distress. Ruth Munro, not a distinct request. Not evidence in high court proceedings. Lawful recourse. Judge Worsley, turn church into a common law court. Ruth Munro, nothing in 1 hour footage. Judge Worsley, harassment. Ruth Munro, not an arena the court should enter, not accosted people or harassed. Ought to be freedom of expression and freedom of public protest. Judge Worsley, anything else? Needs to be very careful giving judgment at 2 p.m. I will make an order serve on the defendant, warn them a 5-year imprisonment. I think I can make an order. I will need to check. James Byrne, concerned about indefinite order. Judge Worsley, obsession of being convinced. James Byrne, how long? They believe I suggest a maximum of 2 years. Indefinite order is draconian, may have to run its course. SM may not want to be involved in this. Judge Worsley, to jury. Jury is welcome back at 2 p.m. if free to come and if want to come. I have sent a message to call the jury for other cases. 12/21/1880. To jury, standing, about to leave for lunch. You just witnessed a cover-up of child abuse. Judge Worsley, In a rage, shut up. Get a recording of that tape sent by court manager to Solicitors Law Society AT. No, you shut up. And B. To judge, you deny the jury the opportunity to hear our side of the case. Female voice. What about my 6 children who have been stolen from me and sold in Cyrus? And B. What about millions of babies and children stolen from loving parents? Male voice. Are you on your oath? Judge Worsley. As I said earlier, if there is a second outburst of NB, I will give judgment in her absence. If she attempts to enter the courtroom, she will be locked up in a cell and discharged after the order is made. 1633-54, no jury. Ruth Munro. Travel costs claimed for NB. Both defendants have received the order. Judge Worsley. I thank the 3 of you. I discharge the defendants, not guilty on all 5 counts, and 1636-04. Restraining order was appealed on Form A the next day in the Criminal Appeals Office, the 19th of July 2016. The filing of corruption claim in the High Court, its service upon Judge Worsley, the subsequent trial and the restraining order complete the proof sets for the Royal COMMISION for the purposes of removing corrupt officers engaged in powerful PAEDOPHILE protection frauds. A proof set in favor of the innocent citizens Neelu, Berry and Sabine McNeill.